How odd is this prison? The food the prisoners eat, all by 5-star chefs, carefully cooked. Abalone, ginseng, shark's fin and tripe are all available. Many people are eager to get in, but those who come in are lucky to be alive. This is an endless prison building. 2 inmates are placed on each floor, equipped with basic living conditions. Randy woke up. He was already in the prison. There was an old man sitting across from him. His cellmate told him their location is the 48th floor. Before Randy could introduce himself, the old man grabbed a pillow. He knelt down with a thud. Randy thought, "I can't afford this big gift." The old man just looked at him. At that moment the alarm sounded. A square stone dining table slowly fell from above their heads. Stopped in front of them was a table full of food, but on closer inspection it was all chewed up. The old man was gobbling up the leftovers. Randy was sick to his stomach. He looked up. If there are 47 floors up there, then these things have been eaten by 94 people. The old man advised him to eat as much as he could. It's only 1 meal a day. It's not sure if he'll be able to eat next month. Randy picked a clean pear by hand and put it in his pocket. In a short time, the table began to fall. The old man threw the finished bottle of wine downstairs and spit on it. Randy got even more disgusted. The temperature inside the house gradually rose. Randy was hot as hell. The old man reminds him that it's the pears in his pocket. The original food can only be enjoyed by stopping at this level. If someone hides food, they will either die of heat or freeze to death. Randy rushed to throw away the hot pear, and so for days on end. Cleanliness. Randy did not touch the food on the table until the 5th day. Randy was so hungry that he was starving. He picked up a beanstalk with a slight tremor and put it in his mouth. After eating and drinking his fill, he and the old man made small talk. The 2 men show what they only have. Randy was a book, and the old man pulled out a knife from his back. He said the knife was for protection. The old man is a veteran of the prison system. He'll be out of prison in 2 months. He told Randy he was happy on the 48th floor. Last month, he was on the 138th floor. There was no food there. Randy wonders how the old man survived. He asked Randy if he believed in bodies falling from the sky. They were surviving on the bodies of the people who killed themselves. Randy was skeptical. At that moment the table fell down. There was a woman sitting on it. The old man said she comes down once a month, floor by floor, looking for her children. The table continued to descend, only to see the 2 men on the 47th floor. I don't know how long they've been locked up. Long ago, they could not resist. These 2 men are insane. When they saw a woman, they grabbed her. They carried the woman off the table. They were ready to do something wrong. Randy was upstairs, anxious, but the floor was too high. If he jumped, he would be crippled. He could only yell from above. After a while, this woman actually climbed back onto the table. The blood on her face tells us the 2 guys had been killed by her. A month goes by in a flash. Randy and the old man were getting close. It was time to change floors. That night, the anesthetic gas was released. Before he was knocked out, the old man expressed his love for Randy. "I hope to get a good floor this month." When Randy opened his eyes again, he was actually tied to the bed. And the hypocritical old man said with a smile on his face, "We're so unlucky." To the 171st floor. The dining room table goes down here. There's nothing left on it. There's only 1 empty plate on the table. To prevent Randy from eating it, he'll do it first. Think about it this way. When the old man he survived by eating his cellmates. Randy collapsed, but he won't kill Randy right now because the meat won't be fresh. He could still hold himself for a few more days. A few days later, the old man finally couldn't take it anymore. He lifted the knife and stabbed Randy in the thigh. That's when the table came down. The woman happened to be on it. She repays Randy by wiped the old man's neck with a flourish. Randy fainted weakly. When he opened his eyes again, the woman was on top of the old man eating meat. She handed Randy a piece. Randy was in pain, but the desire to live made him choose to live in the end. In his drowsiness, he survived by eating rotten food. He survived until it was time to change floors. The woman in front of him was holding a dog. She looked familiar. So it was the staff who invited Randy in. He looked at the floor next to him. Luckily, it was the 33rd floor. No need to kill each other. The woman said that as long as each person eats his own share. In fact, there was enough food for everyone. Randy couldn't imagine he'll be lucky to get out alive. For the next 2 weeks, the woman would tell the next level of people every day, only eat the 2 portions she prepared. They just thought the woman was telling a joke. Randy couldn't take it anymore. He told the lower level people if they didn't do what she told them to do, he would put shit in the food. The words had an immediate effect. That day at the dinner table, the woman who saved him last time came down. She seemed to be seriously wounded. This time it was Randy's turn to save her. floor. They put her to bed and took care of her. Who knew that when she woke up, he killed his cellmate's dog? The inmate's only spiritual support was gone. The next morning, Randy found her dead from hanging. By this time, they'd also been moved to level 202. She wanted to give this nice guy a parting gift. In the throes of hunger, Randy walked towards the body once again. This man was horrible. He was eating human flesh. But in this prison, if you want to live, you can't think of yourself as a human being. Randy is suffering. Finally, the day he was reborn, 6 was written on the wall. Randy could finally catch his breath, and his cellmate was an upbeat, strong man. Jack wanted to get out of here every day. This is the closest he's ever been to the top. His method of escape is simple. It was to please the people at the top. He climbed up by tugging on the rope, but when he was halfway up, the upper level suddenly let go of his hand. Randy saved him. Jack saw the face of the upper level. He became very depressed. Looking at the table full of food, Randy had a bold idea. As long as they distribute food layer by layer, then the people at the bottom wouldn't starve to death. He wanted to change the rules, but he couldn't do it alone. Jack wanted to go to the top. They can finally take a ride. The recycled tables to reach there. This gave Jack renewed hope. Let's do it. They grabbed their weapons, and they went to the next level. The first 50 floors were barely manageable. After reaching the 100th floor, the situation began to be chaotic. They could only use force. When they reached the 150th floor, the woman who was looking for the child was being slashed by strong men. 2 men were trying to avenge her death, jumped off the table and fought them to the death. They ended up with serious injuries. They reached the 333rd floor. The table finally came to a halt. A little girl was found under the bed. The girl crawled towards them hungry. They could only give the last of the food and gave it to the child. I don't know how long it took. Jack died of blood loss. Randy was too weak to return. In a beam of white light, Randy sent the little girl to the top floor. This film brings reality. The film shows the reality in front of the audience in a bloody way. Human nature is not easily tested. The human heart is also not easy to see through. All we can do is to be in the present moment, live each day of our lives well.